Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Pandu Winalia Wibowo and my name is 332101006. And today is I will do the advanced listening task. Okay, first is Song 1. Retell the story. Once upon a time there was a poor miller who had 3 sons. A year has passed, and the miller died and left nothing for his son except his mill, his pool, and a cat. Oldest son took the mill, the second son rode the drake, and the youngest son ate the cat. And the three children planned to eat the cat because there was no food left. The cat listened to its master, complaining like this, but he pretend he didn't hear anything. Owner of the cat were often seen playing many sneaky tricks to catch mice and rats, such as when she used to hang on her heels or her paw for seat and play that. Thinking about that, he thought the cat couldn't possibly help him. So he gave the cat his bag and spent the last of money on ordering some nice wood made especially for the cat. Cat looked very dashing on in his foot and put his bag around his neck. Then he stuffed the bran and corn into his bag and stretched it as if he were dead, waiting for some young rabbit still not familiar with this deception of the world to come and search his bag for the bran and corn. To that he laid on. He got what he wanted. There was a young rabbit who was reckless and stupid, jumping into his bag. When he searched, he immediately closed the rope and caught him. Then he went to the palace and asked to speak to His Majesty. He went to the top floor of kingdom and closing it lower, said to the king that he had brought the warren rabbits. One time he went and hid among a field of corn. Opening his bag when a flock of chicken bumped into him, he grabbed them and caught them both. He went and gave these to the king, as he had done before to the rabbit. The king, in the same way, received the partridge with pleasure. In this way, the cat or the puss continued to bring gifts to king for 2 or 3 months away, saying that they were from its master, the Marquis of Carabas. One day, in particular, he heard a court that the king planned to drive his chariot along the river bank, taking along his daughter, the most beautiful princess in the world, who's in the boat said to his master, "If you follow my advice, your luck will be accomplished. You'll have nothing to do but go and wash yourself in the river, where I will show you and leave rest to me." The miller's son did as the cat suggested, knowing nothing. While he was washing, the king passed by, and the cat started screaming and asking for help because it was drowning. Hearing this commotion, the king stuck his head out of out the window. of the carriage and found that it was the cat who often brought him good games. So the king ordered his bodyguards to immediately run to the aid of His Highness the Marquis of Carabas. As they were pulling the poor Marquis out of the river, the cat came to the carriage and reported the king that his master was washing. Then some rascal came and stole his clothes. The sneaky cat hid his clothes under the boulder. The king immediately ordered his wardrobe attendant to run and get one of the finest clothes for the Lord Marquis of Carabas. The king, very happy to meet Marquis Carabas, and the fine clothes he gave him really suited him. The king's daughter took a secret inclination toward him, and the Marquis of Carabas soon drew two or three and fell in love. The king invited her to sit in the carriage and come with them, with lifeguard in glittering uniform running beside it. The cat, overjoyed to see his project starting to success, made his early walk and met some of the countrymen and talked to the mower. The king didn't stop asking the mower whose pasture they were moving. Then Lord Cat, who had continued on his previous journey, met some the reaper and spoke to them. The king, who passed as a few moments later, wanted to know whose all the corn he saw belonged to. The reaper and the king were pleased with it. As well, the marquis, whom he congratulated, and the king invited him to his palace. The miller's son, not knowing what to answer, looked at the cat. After that, he jumped off and went of the great giant castle and asked to see him, saying he could not pass near her house without having the honor paying his respect to him. The ogre received him as politely as any ogre could, and made him sit down. And the cat said that he has many abilities, one of which is changing shape. Puss was frightened by the sight of the lion so close to him that he immediately climbed over the curtain. Moments later, when the puss sees the ogre has returned to original form, he dismounted and admitted that he was terrified. However, Puss is worried that the ogre won't be able to save himself even in lion form, because King is coming with his army and intends to destroy. The ogre looked out the window and saw King waiting outside with his order and was confused, but the Puss tried to reassure the ogre. In in an instant, the giant transformed itself into a mouse and started running across the floor. Puss soon saw this, but he fell on it and ate it. Puss, hearing the sound of his majestic carriage running over the drawbridge, ran out and talked to the king. Marquis gave his hand to the princess, and following the king, who left first, they passed through a special hall where they found an extraordinary rum punch, which the ogre had prepared for his friend who were visiting him later that day. However, his friend dared not enter, knowing that the king was there. His Highness was greatly fascinated by the good qualities of of Flora of Marquis of Carabas, like his daughter, who had fallen in love with him, and seeing the vast land of he owned, said to him, after having drunk 5 or 6 glasses, the Marquis, making several low bows, accepted the honor bestowed upon him by his Majesty, and immediately on the same day married the princess, who's become the great master and never chased mice again. Okay, this is from the Son 1, and this is the Son 2. Make a note. It is a humorous tale about dispute over the classification of guinea pigs and resulting confusion and frustration that ensues. The story revolves around Mike Flannery, an agent for the Insurgent Express Company, and Mr. Morehouse, a customer who wanted to send his guinea pig by express. The conflict arises when Flannery insists on charging to the higher rate for pigs, while Mr. while Mr. Morehouse argues that guinea pig should be classified as domestic pet and therefore subject to a lower rate. The argument escalates with Morehouse offering to pay the higher rate for 2 guinea pigs, but Flannery refused to accept the payment. The dispute is brought to the attention of the company official, leading a series of letters being exchanged between Mr. Morehouse, the tariff department, and Flannery. As the correspondent continue, company official increasingly confused about how to classify guinea pig. The head of the tariff department finally decided to collect the charge of for guinea pigs food from Mr. Marhouse. Flannery delivered the bill, but Mr. Marhouse refused to pay. Meanwhile, the company president, unsure about the classification of guinea pig, consult Professor Garden, an authority on such matter. However, due to the professor location in the Andes, the latter take a long time to reach him. In the meantime, Flannery collection of guinea pig multiples rapidly, causing him great concern. Eventually, Flannery contacted Morgan, head of the tariff department, to inform him that there are now 160 guinea pigs in his possession and asks if he can sell some of them. The story ends without a resolution, leaving the fate of the guinea pig and the ongoing dispute. Okay, next, the last song is Song 3, same mechanism. Okay, Song 3, we tend to think of great letters as people who naturally take to the stage, who draw other people to them by their shared presence, who are extrovert. Of course, we're drawn to extrovert if they are the boss. They allow space for the idea of the other to grow because they are not trying to make their mark. Do not worry about them stealing your idea or talking over you in a meeting. Some of our great creators are introvert too. It turns out coming up with good idea is easier when you're engaged in quiet, solo contemplation than when you're leading cheerleading squad. Extroverts are great. Some of my favorite people are extrovert. The introvert at the school are judged negatively by their teacher. And when they reach the workplace, they are passed over for promotion into leadership position. Isn't saying let's get rid of extrovert and grab all the talkative, sociable perform at primary school and send them off the library for 4 hours a day of solitude until they learn to tone it out. It's saying we're doing something like the opposite of that to introvert where we need to stop. We need to allow them space to be themselves. Then we'll end up getting the most out of our extrovert and our introvert. Let's create space in office and at the conference for people to walk on their own when they want and give them the opportunity to come together to share idea. That's all from me. Correct me if I'm wrong. I apologize. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.